Hello my friends and welcome back to the channel. Let's do the CAINHURST Saga. Now this takes place, as you can see, I'm in the Forbidden Woods. I'm heading towards Yusefka's clinic, to the back door of Yusefka's clinic to go and pick up the CAINHURST summons. There's a couple of steps you need to follow in order to get to CAINHURST. CAINHURST is one of the secret areas, as we know in the game. I'm using a character that's dressed in Alfred's garb because he plays a very vital role in this thing. But if you follow this guide, you'll see where you can find the CAINHURST summons. You first have to go to the Witches of Hemwick, which in Charnel Lane, in order to gain full access to CAINHURST. That's why I'm starting off the video here. Already did some of the bosses to get to this specific area. But the main aim of this thing is just to show you the progression of CAINHURST. So we're going to do a little bit of a let's play in CAINHURST as well, seeing that it is a very important and a very cool area where you can find a lot of blood chunks, you can find some weapons, you can find armor. I just think CAINHURST is a very interesting story, the story of Marta Lugarius, Alfred, and Queen Annalise. But if you follow this guide, you'll get there without any trouble. So right, we've reached Central Yharnam. Just go through this gate. We're going to go to the back door of Yusefka's clinic. It is kind of ironic that you find the CAINHURST summons on the exact same table that you wake up in the beginning of the game. I'm not sure what that's about, but it is kind of ironic that one of the little hidden secrets is actually right in front of you from where you start off. Because in the beginning of the game, this door is actually closed, and you can't gain access to this, but the table that's there in the background, that contains the CAINHURST summons. Now you're going to need that when you go to Hemwick Charnel Lane. You have to complete Hemwick Charnel Lane, unfortunately, so you have to beat those bosses. It's not a very hard boss fight. And then you're going to have to run back to the obelisk in the middle of the area in order to gain access. So right, that's what we're going to do from here. I'm going to run from the Cathedral Ward to Hemwick. I'm not going to fight the enemies in Hemwick. I'm just showing you how to get there the safest way and the fastest way if you're playing the game fully. Sometimes I see it a lot in the videos. People miss the steps and then they ask me later on, why didn't the guide work? It's because the full steps weren't followed. So I hope you watch the whole entire video in order to do this, and you should reach CAINHURST fine. There's also another video that I'm working on how to obtain and where to obtain the blood dregs that you need to give to Queen Annalise in order to just add to her storyline as well. Very interesting character. All of them are interesting. Like I've always said, Bloodborne's lore is so good. It goes much deeper than just the stuff that you see on the surface. Hemwick itself is a very interesting area because this is one of the first areas where you start picking up twin blood shards to further the progression of your weapon and all that stuff. Great enemies, great area, great characters, some angry witches and all that stuff. But that's not why we are here. We want to go kill the Witch of Hemwick so we can activate the obelisk in the middle of that area behind that gate. I did speed up the video a little bit just to make the progression a little bit faster, but you can see what's going on. There you can see Castle CAINHURST in the background. That's where we're heading. I did actually open up the shortcuts. If you're doing this, open up the shortcuts to the area, so if you should die or something should go wrong, then it doesn't take this long to run through this thing. Okay, so I'm just gonna use my whirligig saw, some fire paper, and my beast blood pellets. Get rid of these two witches very quickly. If you are one of those people that holds on to your insights, the more and more of these Tim Burton creatures would spawn. So my tip to you would be is use those insights so these red Tim Burton monsters won't spawn. Got rid of the first one, so let's just give it the second one here. It's not a hard boss fight. It can be a long boss fight depending on how many times she spawns out and all that stuff. But that's it, my friends. So as soon as this has been done, basically the CAINHURST thing has been activated. You already picked up the summons, which is very important, and you've done this, and this is going to give you the access to go to Castle CAINHURST. So right after the boss fight, head back to the middle of this courtyard where you see that that obelisk in the middle there. Just run towards it, and this cutscene will trigger. I always say this reminds me of the movie Nosferatu, the 1922 movie, and the recent one that we recently got. Because there's also a carriage that shows up. It just takes you to a faraway place. The mystery is never explained on how we travel across that broken bridge towards Castle CAINHURST. But we do. I've said this in previous videos of mine, it's probably my favorite area in Bloodborne. It's one of the most beautiful areas because I'm just a fan of gothic horror and art in general. So whenever there's a nice looking castle and all that stuff, it just really gets to me because I'm really a big fan of stuff like this. But yes, let's get into Castle CAINHURST. I'm going to show you some of the pickups, most of the places where you should go, and just check out some. Come and play this area to its fullest extent because, my friends, it's really a great area. Good pickups. Here you start picking up blood chunks, a lot of consumables, some tempering stones. I always head over to this spot first, on this side of the... You should actually go around the other side. I kind of messed up here because there's actually some cold blood there. Just run around the other side. I always start off on that side. Why did I run back to... Okay, no clue. No clue why I did that. Sorry about that. Right down there, behind those snaky things, there's a tempering stone. If you're busy upgrading your weapon of choice. These things can be quite irritating, these worm things. A lot of bloodsuckers in this thing. I think they used to be citizens of CAINHURST and they just got so overfed on blood they couldn't stop eating. The smaller ones like this one, they can be handful. They can be very tough to defeat. They move very quickly. I found that the best approach is to try and attack them or get behind them and attack them from behind. On my left hand side there's 4 of them over here, or 3 of them at least. But the big fat one, just stands there because for some reason, I don't know, it's actually very sad to me. That character, I'm going to show you when I get close to that specific enemy. Of course, they drop some more blood gems that you can use for your pistol, for your blood tinge. I feel bad for this bloodsucker over here because it's kind of like this creature is shy and it's actually ashamed of what it's become. If you stand right in front of it, it turns around. It does not attack you. If you go to the front again, look at it. It just turns. I feel bad for this thing. It kind of feels ashamed of what happened to it. I do feel bad for killing it. But yeah, he looked like he was in misery anyway, so I'm sorry about that. But let's continue into the castle. You see Marta Lugaris and Queen Annalise on the door. Beautiful, beautiful place, this hall that leads into the castle. Some madman's knowledge over here. As soon as you pick that up, the ghostly ladies are going to appear in the thing. There's another madman's knowledge right over here. And then in the corner you'll find a chest that contains the righteous pilach, which is like a parrying sword. I don't really use that much. It does cause a lot of bleed damage. If you go to this side, you'll find a blood chunk over there. You can always fight these enemies. There's no reason why you shouldn't fight these enemies, but for the purpose of the video, I'm not fighting them. We're going to head into the dining hall, which actually contains a chest with a noble dress. It's actually the same dress that Ariana wears. But I do think a thing that's very interesting in this room is all the paintings that's on the wall there in the background, because it actually gives you a little bit of the history of the castle and who the rulers were and all that stuff. It's actually, when you look at this close up, gives you a lot of answers to the lore of the game. Now once we get into this area, be careful of these gargoyles because they are hiding in plain sight. That gargoyle over there is going to start moving if you go closer. They're not that tough, but they can be a handful as well. Kind of funny how much they look like Nosferatu. If we go this way, up this little staircase, there's a gargoyle sitting there. You can always just, hit him off the ledge. He falls behind the statue, so he's not going to attack you again. That's where we started off. There's a blood chunk over here. This gargoyle is actually stuck behind these statues now, so he's not a bother. There's another one at the door. Be very careful of this guy. He's sitting very still until you get close. Now we have one of the enemies with that rapier weapon. We're going to go pick up the garb that I'm wearing currently. You pick up the garb, the boots and the gloves. Once you've completed Alfred's quest line, that's when you can buy the golden headpiece that I'm wearing currently, which completes the whole. In this chest you'll find the Vile Blood Register, where if you give the blood dregs to Queen Annalise, if you gather them in the game via the corruption rune, you just actually rank up in the online stats. I'm not sure if it's online or if it's offline. I'm not sure about that. But you can always use the blood dregs as consumables as well. The reason I got rid of that lady is because the far off staircase is actually guarding a chest. Very powerful pistol in this chest. The Evelyn. I actually prefer to use this one because it causes a lot more damage once you upgrade this. But yeah, we're heading up the stairs and I'm going to show you where to also unlock that bookcase, because we need to go up that ladder in the background there. First, a couple more pickups in this area. There's some blood chunks over here. Just got stabbed for my trouble. Don't stab me. I'll take the blood vial. Thank you so much. Nothing more in this area. We're going to go this way. There's some bullets over here that you can pick up. Some gargoyles are going to follow you down. We're going to go into the little door to our left here. There's also an arcane weapon in here, the Executioner's Gloves. Very cool weapon if you're an arcane fighter. This thing deals a lot of damage, plus it uses some of your bullets. And then, of course, one of my favorite garbs in the game, because of just the way how beautiful it is the Knight's garb. This is a male character of mine, so I'm picking up the male version. The female version has the skirt with it, and of course the headpieces also differ when you pick up the headpieces on the roof. For the men it has the silver ponytail, and for the women it has the little hat with the feather in it. Over here we find some more cold blood, which is always helpful, to buy consumables, upgrade your character and whatnot. And of course, if you drop into this window, now you're at the back of that bookcase. So just pull this lever and it'll move the bookcase back, and you can go ahead to go and fight Bartologarius. This was, I've said this before, it was actually one of the toughest boss fights I ever had in this game when I started playing it. This was the very first boss where I really had a struggle to beat him cleanly and all that stuff. Not a nice boss. Me myself, I would love to go to a library that looks like this, you know. I could just imagine the place smells of old wood and paper, and of course here you find some blood chunks again. Look at all this knowledge on these shelves. It's so beautiful. Man, wish I could go to a place like this in reality. Okay, this is where we find the headpiece for the knight's garb. Like I said, for the females it's a little hat. For the men it's a little ponytail wig. I'm going to switch to that clothing set. Now I think it's appropriate to wear the knight's garb as we go and face Martyr Logarius. See, there I have the full garb on. Kind of makes you look like a distinguished gentleman. Very colourful, very royal in a way. I'm not too fond of the pants. The boots and stuff doesn't look that good. I prefer using the ashen boots when I'm wearing this garb. Over there you would find some Bold Hunter's marks. Let's go and beat up Martyr Logarius. I do apologize if I sound a little bit stuffy. I have a cold. It is winter here in South Africa. Pretty appropriate that I'm doing this video while the snow is falling. Feel a little bit stuffy. Apologies for that. Of course, I'm using my saw cleaver, I'm using fire paper, and I'm using these blood pellets. The one boss fight video that I have on the channel, the way I fight this boss, I give him a couple of hits, and when he tries to stick his staff into the floor, try and get behind him and get some viscerals going on him. He's actually one of the easiest bosses when it comes to visceral attacks because he gets stunned very quickly. When he does that, shoot that little sword and he'll be safe. But yeah, I am getting a lot of hits here. Did get a lot of shot viscerals on him in this fight. Also be careful, you can fall off the roof. It's always a possibility. As you can see, I mean, even though the video is sped up, he does move very fast for a dead guy. Okay, so we got Martyr Logarius. Now what you need to do here is you need to pick up the Crown of Illusions in the background over here. You need to equip that crown and just walk towards the throne where Logarius was sitting. And that'll trigger another cutscene. That's going to take you to Queen Annalise, where she's sitting all by her lonesome. Now, if you're playing the game for the first time, exhaust the conversation, and she's actually going to make you a member of the Vile Blood Hunters. You can get the rune from there. That's the rune that you use to, when you play the game with that equipped, to obtain blood drinks from NPCs in the game. But I do like what's happening after this. I mean, I'm going to go back with the unopened summons. I'm going to give that to Alfred because eventually that's what he's looking for. And he's going to come over here and he's going to kill Annalise, or he thinks so. Now, remember, I've already played the game to a certain point. In the main game, I've already killed Ebritas as well. Now, that furthers this quest line even more. I'll tell you about that when we get there and why it's so important to have already done the Ebritas part. But yes, let's go into this castle and meet up with the very evil Queen Annalise. Absolutely beautiful area.
Visitor, I claim no subjects, but here lieth our throne. Kneel afore us, or get thee gone. Visitor, moon-scented hunter, I am Annalise, Queen of Castle CAINHURST. Ruler of the Vile Bloods, and sworn enemy of the Church. Yet our people are murdered. What is it thou art in search of? Well, well. An odd hunter thou art indeed. We've tired of these piteous nights. Share in our plight, and take oath against the church. If thou wouldst this path walk, I prithee, partake of my rotted blood. Very well, drink deep of our feel the spreading corruption burn. Now, thou art too a vile blood, we too. We await thy return for the honor of CAINHURST.
And when you play the game for the first time, that's not going to be a madman's knowledge. He's actually going to give you the corruption rune and the CAINHURST badge. And as you just saw there on the table, I found the unopened summon. So I'm going to head back to the Hunter's Dream and head back to where you'll find Alfred in the Cathedral Ward part. In this game, I did not speak to him while I was going to Old Yarnum, so we're going to go and meet him in the old the cathedral part of the game. Just going to run there quickly. Normally you would find him on your way to Old Yarnum, but I did not do that part in this game because I wanted him to be over here. So I'm going to exhaust the conversation for the first time with him. I'll take the fire paper that he gives me as a gift. You need to cooperate with him and then give him the unopened summons.
You're a beast hunter, aren't you? I knew it. That's precisely how I started out. Oh, beg pardon. Protégé of Master Ligurius, hunter of vile bloods. So, what say you? Why not cooperate and discuss the things we've learned? Oh, very good. Very good indeed. Take this to celebrate our acquaintance. Beast hunting is a sacred practice. May the good blood guide your way. There must be oodles for us to share. Go on, just tell me what piques your interest. Aha! Is that the sigil of CAINHURST? I've heard tell of CAINHURST nobles and their amusingly pompous invitations. Wonderful. I thank you profusely. I will depart immediately, but first, a token of my gratitude. Ah, I praise the good blood, and let us cleanse these tarnished streets.
Okay, after this, you can use a Bold Hunter's Mark to respawn back at the lantern, or you can run back to the lantern, whatever works for you. Once you get to the Hunter's Dream, go to the Vileblood's Queen chamber, and you'll see what Alfred just did to Queen Elise.
I've smashed and pounded and grounded this rotten siren into fleshy pink pulp. There, you filthy monstrosity. What good's your immortality now? Try stirring up trouble in this sorry state. All mangled and twisted, with every inside on the outside for all the world to see.
You, is it? Look at this. Thanks to you, I've done it. Well, isn't it wonderful? Now Master can be canonized as a true martyr. I've done it. I have.
I've done it. I have.
If you do this for the first time, he'll actually give you the raw gesture, and you can actually fight him in this area if you really want to, but that's not going to complete his quest line. What we're going to do is that lump of flesh that I picked up, I'm going to take that to the altar of despair, and this is the area where you fought Ibritas, the daughter of the cosmos. You're going to offer this flesh to Ron the vacuous spider's corpse over here, and it's actually going to bring Annalise back to life. Alfred didn't know about this. I don't think he knew about this, but if you offer the flesh to the corpse, it says makes this move in reverse. So basically she has been resurrected and she's back on the throne. She's not all broken up and everything, because in a way she is kind of immortal. So we're going to go back to the Hunter's Dream, and we're going to go back to the Queen Hunter's chamber, just to see that she's sitting there. Alfred, of course, he left, and then you'll find him in his original spot on the way to Old Yharnam, where he actually died in front of the statue of Marta Lugaris.
Closest of kin, bearer of our blood, I welcome thee. What is thy wish? We await thy return for the honor of CAINHURST.
So let's go to the final resting place of Alfred. Remember, if you fought him in the Queen's chamber, he will not show up at this place. So after he destroyed the Queen, just go back to the Cathedral Ward, follow these steps, and you'll find him in his final resting place. Otherwise he won't respawn here. This is the proper way to follow this whole quest line. Of course, if you play the game for the first time, you come to this area early. Don't fight him here. Become friends with him and just wait. I've seen a lot of players, they just start hitting things that they don't understand. And if you play the game for the first time, this is where you'll pick up the Cain's the wheel badge, and actually the Radiance Ruin as well. Probably one of the nicest storylines and quests in Bloodborne. See you soon, my friends.